It's looking pretty rough. I need to find a new property to buy in the next 30 days. We're on the hunt for our next renovation project, and today we're going to be checking out an abandoned house that has been left for dead. We're going to be exploring all the crazy things in this house, and make sure to stay to the end because you won't believe how much money they want for this place. Today we're looking at a distressed property we found on Zillow this morning. There wasn't too many pictures of the inside, so we're going to find out what it looks like. Let's check it out. Oh yeah. So before we came in, a neighbor was walking through the neighborhood and she gave us kind of the rundown on the story of this property. It sounded like there was a couple of elderly people living in this property. They weren't keeping up with it too much, as you can tell from the exterior. We got some water damage right here. Looks like there might be a hole in the roof or something, so that sheetrock is coming through. You see the original, what's that, shiplap? What is that? What do you call that? Okay, I'm looking it up now. It is not shiplap because it does not have tongue and groove. It's just nailed up in there. So we're just gonna go with wood ceilings. I'm sure y'all correct me in the comment section below. Looks like a little living room area.
Pretty big living room.
We got carpet. All this has got to go. Looks pretty rough. Yep. All new flooring throughout this whole place, that's for sure. Window units, no central AC. That's going to be a problem. Yeah, I'm going to throw in central AC throughout this whole thing.
Absolutely. You could do floor ducts. You got the ceiling. You got attic.
This property was built in 1922, so it is over 100 years old. The property's been listed for a while, but it recently had a pretty big price drop. That prompted us to come out here and see if there's any value that we can find in the building.
Okay, we've got this wholesome, tidy bathroom. 3/4. Ooh, that's a Blake special there. Not a lot I can say about this one except demo the whole thing.
Unfortunately, if you thought the bathroom was bad, the kitchen is worse. Whoever was living here before the property was listed, whether it was the prior owners or the prior tenants, left this place absolutely destroyed. Of course, all this needs to get demoed out. Cabinets get demoed out, floors get redone. New plumbing, new electric throughout this whole place. Little doorstop, not very level, so I bet this shuts pretty quick. Yep. Wood here is actually pretty nice under this carpet. I don't know what this would be called. This is like a little office. You come up, I guess it's another bedroom technically, but it's kind of weird how it's laid out. Oh, that's not good. Look at that. They're running extension cords for their power. That's not in code. I guarantee you that. City's not gonna like that, so that's all gotta come out. This is in a historic district, so that may be another issue. Dealing with the city's one problem already. When you have to deal with the historic commission, that's another problem. So that's something that I'm going to take into account when we're putting the budget together. You know, if we do decide to do this, like we'll send the subs out, the contractors out. They'll start giving numbers, and then at that point, we're probably going to have to add a percentage on that because it's in a historic commission. And you know, they may say the exterior needs to be a certain color or it needs to be a certain material. The more we looked, the worse it got. We found cheap power cords ran outside, up the walls, into the windows to provide power to the second floor. The city would freak if they saw this. Got your swimsuit calendar. Gotta have that. All new windows. That's another scary thing. There's a lot of windows, and it's not cheap. It's not like the last project we had on the $50,000 house flip. The windows were already replaced, put in. So that budget item was $0 for us. Here, that's not going to be the case.
When you have to do this much, do you have to replace the windows? Look at these windows. They are in good shape.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them. I think this could be a deck off of this back here. You could go out here and have a deck if you're going to make it an office.
And you do not have to replace the windows. So the answer to that is no, you don't have to replace the windows. Obviously, you're going to not have your energy efficient. You know, my dad's a big champion of the original windows. He always likes to keep the original windows. Blake's the opposite. He likes to put in the new windows. So.
And you study your energy loss of windows, and you lose such a small percentage of your heat compared to your roof and your floor is where you need to put your money and your walls. So
there you go. It might make sense to keep them. So that's something we'll have to take on the budget. And like I said, it's probably going to be a pretty big line item. At this point, I was starting to realize that this house was in a little worse shape than I had expected. The house had a really odd multi-level layout, and as you can see, there's exterior siding here in the stairwell. So of course, anytime you see exterior siding on an interior wall, you got to think, how many additions did they add to this place? Oh, shoot. That's not good. Nope. The siding in this room had completely rotted out and it was just exposed to the outside.
They added on and added on. Adding square footage is not a good option. There's no master bedroom, so there's no master ensuite. So that creates a problem. You either have to add more square footage, which gets expensive, or try to resort a whole lot. And this thing's multi-level, so you're limited in your options of multi-level, how you can resort out these rooms.
We are, like I said, we're in a nice part of town, historic part of town. The values of these properties are a lot higher, and we're on a huge lot right here. This thing is deep. I mean, let's go check it out. But as you can see, you got plenty of space to do plenty of different things. You can put a pool back here, a lot of demo here, couple runs of that trash bin, getting all this stuff out of here.
I'd add more to your dumpster budget.
Yeah, double, triple that dumpster budget. Garden. The good thing here is it's on pier and beam, and it's on like there's about 5 foot of crawl space under there. So your plumbers and electricians are gonna have an easier time doing this job versus some of the other jobs where you got about a foot. So if we did do this project, it'd be the biggest project we've done to date. I think this is 1,700 square feet. We've only really done 1,200 square foot and below. You know, the risk to reward tolerance, you know, we could put a lot of money into it. It would be worth a lot more than any of the other properties we've done before. They just recently dropped this property $50,000. Like I said, it's a risky deal, but any property, any deal has a price. It has a price where it will work if you want to do it. And this would be a deal I would consider doing, but it has to be at the right price. So it's really just taking your purchase price and your construction cost, add in your realtor fees. That's the cost of the build. Everyone has a different tolerance for how much work they want to do for how much money. So, you know, if there's $30,000 or $40,000 worth of profit in there, we'll consider it. If it's anything less than that, I don't want to deal with this thing for $20,000 worth of profit. That's not worth it to me. I don't think it's going to be worth it to Blake. It all can be worked out on the Excel spreadsheet, so that's what we're going to do. We have asbestos siding here as well. That's another cost. You got the original siding down here. That's another thing to look at. What's the status of that? What's the quality of that? Is it, once we start taking this stuff off, is it in decent condition? Because if it is, we would love to keep it. We can put some new paint on it, clean it up, and I'm sure that's what the Historic Commission would want us to do regardless. But if we start taking this stuff off and there's patchwork everywhere, things like that, and then you run into the Historic Commission saying you got to fix it, you got to redo the whole siding, that's when you run into issues. So
Yeah. It's a bigger project than your dad's ready to get into again.
So after the price cut on this home, the sellers are asking $215,000 for this property. And even though the median home price in this neighborhood's about $500,000, on this one, it's just not worth it to me.
just on surface level, gut feeling, it doesn't look like this property is going to be the one to do. It's just a weird layout, and that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. If you got something blank that you can work with, you can move walls, things like that, it's like you got a good canvas to start with. If you don't, where you have a multi-level where you can't move walls, you have to do a new addition or something like that, it becomes much harder and much more expensive to work with. So for that reason, I think we're gonna be out on this one. Like I said, we're getting out of our properties that we're in right now. So we're gonna have all that capital coming back into our banks. We gotta get it back out to work. So we gotta find another deal. Deals come and go real quick, so you have to be on your feet. If you do wanna follow us and stay tuned when we do these new deals and new flips, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Thanks for watching.